In the northwest of India, extending West Bengal, exist a lot of small states, still quite unknown, which totally surround Bangladesh: Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram, Manipur, Nagaland, and the widest of them that we are on the point to cross from a side to another, Arunachal Pradesh. This is the less populated province of India, with 3,500 villages and only 12 cities. It has an international border with Bhutan on the west, with China in the north on more than 621 miles, and which also claims the northern part belonging to the independent region of Tibet, and another border on the east with Burma. This province extends itself from the snowy peaks of Himalaya to Brahmaputra Valley, and is also one of the most important densities of primary forest of the world. Touristic activities in this region are just starting, there are almost no road networks, and the geographical remoteness doesn't make exchange easy, without speaking about the geopolitical remoteness. 1.4 million of inhabitants, essentially rural, live in this state. 2/3 of them are indigenous people, and the Indian government calls them Adivasi. They are divided in 103 tribes of 50 to 250,000 people. There are as much languages and dialects, most of them have no written form, and whose specialists still discuss today the origin. Its religious identity is clearly different from the rest of India. It has no castes, has Tibetan Buddhists in the northwest, Theravada Buddhists on the east, and a majority of animists in the rest of the country. Our trek starts in Guwahati, where we contact our driver to specify and determine our path before driving for about 248 miles to Itanagar, the capital of the state. The city is modern, trite, and noisy, but has a remarkable Buddha temple on the top of its hill. It's a sanctuary with a yellow roof, which reflects a vast Tibetan influence. It has been sacred by the Dalai Lama, who also planted one of the trees that surround it. We discover there beautiful paintings and ancient objects of the Buddhist worship. In front of the temple, a stupa stands in the garden and shows the portrait of a monk. A tall Buddha calmly rests under an Indian banyan. We stopped at the Itanagar market to immerse ourselves into the ambience of the city and to appreciate the culinary choices of the local population before leaving and meet the several ethnic groups which live in Arunachal Pradesh. The Poma village, located on the road to Zero, allows us to discover the tribe Nihishi. Its name, in their Burmese Tibetan language, means people of the earth, or human being. The Nihishi are approximately 300,000, which makes the biggest group of Arunachal Pradesh in front of the Adi and the Galang. The Nihishi don't accept intermarriage with other tribes, which is a common attitude in tribal populations. There, polygamy predominates and is seen as a symbol of social status and ensure a good economic stability. It also provides a better security during the hard times, especially during their interclan wars. However, since the arrival of Christianity, polygamy is contested. It takes 5 hours to travel the 68 miles between Itanagar and Zero. Zero is the capital of the district of the Lower Subansiri of Arunachal Pradesh and is a plateau surrounded by the village of Hong and the Apatani, Dibo and Ijabulari people. The village is considered as one of the biggest and the most organized village of all tribal villages of Asia. We are here in the heart of a small but well-known tribe, the Apatani. The Apatani villages are easy to distinguish from other Nihishi villages. The Nihishi people cultivate the rice on dry lands, often in a slash-and-burn agriculture or in succession planting, whereas here, the Apatani people cultivate it according to their tradition, drowned into water. They build small dams that allow water to flow from terrace to terrace, but always conserving the same height in each terrace. They don't labor the paddy fields, and fishes are raised in this water. Seedlings are carried out in March in small muddy fields. The small plants will be planted in April and May in the main paddy fields to be harvested in the end of November. In February, women's principal job is to take care of the small dams while their husbands repair or rebuild the houses. We are invited in several Apatani houses that are all built in the same way. A square built on stilts with bamboo floor and walls, a great room which is the main place to live for the family. In the middle of this room lies the fire where they cook and dry the meat in a smoky and dark atmosphere. There are adjacent cells for dormitory. We can read on the women's faces the exceptionality of this tribe. Their noses are flattened, which is different from what we can find in other tribes. These villages are in majority animists, and the Doni polo flag is waving in the air, hooked on the top of many houses. Bamboo altars are standing in front of the houses, adorned with cock's head and broken eggs. They heal diseases or difficulty. Each village is divided in clans. The Hong possesses 16 of them, which is a bit like a big family. Unions within the same clan are forbidden. Each clan possesses a lapa, which is a kind of platform that only men use for reunion, ceremony, and important decisions. The access to the lapa is forbidden to married women. There are also, in the streets, high masts called babu, prepared for the spring festivities, the Myoko festival. The most important member of the community, the shaman, wears traditional outfit. This tribe worship the sun and moon. In other words, they believe that every single thing has a spirit that can influence human events. The first day of the festival, the shaman recites incantations to calm the spirits, protect harvests and the community. The Myoko festival's goal is to bring the different families and clans together. The Apatani are divided in 3 groups because Myoko is celebrated by each village only once every 3 years. One of the 3 groups organized the celebration on a particular year, and the 2 others joined the celebration. However, the preparation of this festival begins before that with a monkey hunting to capture the god's spirits.
Pura welcome.
The second day of the festival, the first pig is brought to the sacrificial place where the shaman recites a litany of prayers that can last many hours. The crowd gather and walks around shaking branches to remove the bad spells. The next morning, the new brides will wear their traditional costumes while sprinkled with flour and rice beer the dead pigs lying on the floor. In the same time, the priest will sacrifice chickens on the holy ground. Later on, the selected pigs will undergo special rituals where the priest opens their thorax and pierces their heart while they are still alive. The parts of the animals will be offered to family and friends, so that the blessing of the sacrificed animal benefits also to them. We decided not to assist to this part of the festival. After 3 days in Zero, we take a pretty bad road to Daporijo. First, we drive through the Kamla Valley, populated by the Nehishi, where villages are disseminated in the hills. On our way, we meet 2 women going to a wedding and wearing a multitude of necklaces. After crossing the Kamla River, we'll go in the region of the Galo, Ilmiri, and Tagin tribes. Groups of dwellings are lost in the middle of the steep hills. Life is hard in this part of the world. We are with the hunters-gatherers, and the way of surviving are not many. They are agriculture, livestock farming, braiding baskets, and weaving for women. We stopped on our way in a Nehishi village. All the families gathered, so it's the occasion to take pictures with our Polaroid, which made them very happy. Furthermore, we meet a family which belonged to the Tagin tribe. The old man, braiding a basket, is the shaman of the village. Their home is mainly constituted with bamboo and has a big room with a central fire, a separated kitchen, 1 or 2 small spaces, the dormitory, and a large terrace opened on the outside.
Sit down.
In Arunachal Pradesh, there are lots of mountains, immense forests which are difficult to access. Christianity's missionaries struggled a lot to manage to enter these territories. This is why the 60 ethnics living in the states managed to conserve their ancestral cult of Doni Polo, the divinity of sun and moon. Doni the sun is considered as the main guide of the truth, and Polo the moon symbolized love, kindness, friendship, and sympathy. Thus, Doni Polo is considered as a humanist philosophy founded on natural tradition and which ideology has evolved from tribes' belief and generational practices. Daporijo is a small town located at 1,986 feet of altitude and is largely populated by the Tigin tribe. We arrived there a bit before the night, which is the occasion to visit the market, still open. We essentially find fresh products. The Subansiri River is in the same time Indian and Tibetan and is 273 miles long. It's one of the main rivers of Arunachal Pradesh and a large tributary to the powerful Brahmaputra River. Due to the construction of an immense blockade on the river, a lot of violent manifestation occurred. To build it, India had to create a road network that destroys the environment. The destruction of the ecosystem forces the villages to move, and erosion is a major problem in Arunachal Pradesh. The hills in the background crumble a little bit more each year. The blockade should release 3 times a day 3,500 cubic meters per second, which is a complete disaster for the harvests. On the road to Alu, also called Along, we drive through many villages very isolated from one another. There are several fires in the forest because of the slash and burn way of cultivating. It's less common than in Nagaland, but seems to develop itself more and more. The Younger River flows between the hills, and the villages located next to it can cultivate and irrigate more easily. In these wooded mountains, it's not rare to meet bears or leopard, wild animals hunted by the native for their flesh or skin. The Adigalong dwellings are very large in a rectangular shape, made of bamboo, rantan, and bamboo leaves, always built on stilts, with a large principal room and separated dormitories. The Adi cultivate rice, which is the main ingredient in their diet. Trapping and hunting also bring some more food on the table. The prey they prefer is the rat. There are a lot, and they cook it in many ways. The Adi also raise chickens, mountain bovines, and pigs that live under the house and eat leftovers and human wastes. The Along region is mainly populated by the Adi tribe, which is composed of smaller tribes very different from one another: Galong, Minyong, Pazi, Padam, Bori, and Bokar.
तो घर ले जाएगा, बहुत दिन रहेगा, सब्जी तो खराब हो जाएगा ना।
remarkable bridges have been built in Along's surrounding. They can connect the different mountain tribes. Those bridges are suspended and are 164 to 230 feet long. They swing when we walk on it. We follow the river in the jungle and fields around Along. The landscape is sumptuous and lush. On the riverside, a group of fishermen repair their net and make lead that will be on it.
इंडिया में बुक आया गौर भी आदमी ये लोग
180 भी आने लगे बारी
To come back to the village in Along, we walk on this old suspended bridge made of ropes and wooden slats. This bridge is 230 feet long with disjoint wooden boards, almost 100 feet high, and with a very relative stability. Kabu is one of the prettiest villages in Along's surrounding. Approximately 110 families live there, surrounded by crops, fruit trees, and cattle in their enclosures. The Galong cultivate the sugarcane, bananas, chili peppers, and tangerines in their garden. Life is still, and everyone is busy with his or her daily occupation. Many women are weaving with extremely old equipment, doing an extremely precise job.
Yo mừng ta mà tôi ham ăn lạc long ngồi lên lại yo em cũng ta ngồi yo mừng mà tôi.
ओ बेर मुन नम सिक्की स्टॉप में
Nada, yo me voy a tomar no me anh nhớ bao bằng rồi. Cả cái nhớ mà cái đấy để ra phố ra cái
như riêng nó để hiểu lại
Yalla Europa, yalla go.
anh nhà mà tôi buồn má là.
The daily market of Along is particularly well animated. It is divided in area like often, the hairdressers, the dressmakers, necklace sellers, made with precious and semi-precious stones that men and women wear and transmit from generation to generation. And finally, the food area. where they sell vegetables, spices, and other food products. The road that links Along to Bolang is spectacular and breathtaking. At the entrance of the village, men are building a house. We are invited in a Nadi family. Like many houses of the tribe, this house is decorated with hunting trophies and with this bovine skull ritually sacrificed. To enjoy the beauty of the panorama and test our fear of heights, we walk on this very old suspended bridge made of ropes and braided bamboo. On our way to Riga, a village of 1,700 souls, we drove through wonderful paddy fields along the Brahmaputra river. Only the old and the children stay in the village. Men and women are in the fields or in the forest. A family invites us to have some tea in its dwelling.
ये जो सारा नेशन है ना, ये दिस साइन है, सिविलाइजेशन का साइन है।
वो फॉसिल ब्लॉक है, यहाँ में जो सब था उसका
मुलुग को भी मांगो पोता में मालो है तू
अरे
Riga is lost among this greenery and is hard to access. The granaries are all gathered away from the houses to avoid fires due to the use of fire for cooking and heating. Here, an old man from Adiminyong tribe sits on rocks to take some rest. At the end of the afternoon, colors on the paddy fields are sublime. Another Adiminyong village on the way to Pasigat. The camera has a certain effect, as you can see.
Dilo may nangol patulay bom dune. Acting la dagla ay dag.
Women are waving in every house.
Bello me le quedo.
It's in this particular place that the green waters of the Siang River meet the blue waters of the Siom River. Here, beaches are desert. To this landlocked Pasigat, which is the most ancient city of Arunachal, and to allow a better circulation in the entire state, the Indian government started huge work that destroyed forests to create a 3-lane road. Six miles away from Pasigat, we discover several Adipadam villages located in the heart of lush nature. Further, a crowd and a festive atmosphere attract us. It's a wedding ceremony. The young couple is already gone, but family and friends sing, dance while drinking rice beer. Bills are hooked to a stick as a gift for the married ones. Early the next morning, we left Arunachal for an incursion in Assam on the Majuli Island. This island is located on the tumultuous Brahmaputra River. It's a giant island, the second biggest fluvial island of the world. Erosion has already devoured 60% of the land. In 15 or 20 years, the island will completely disappear under the water of this river. Life goes on next to the road and is calmer than the rest of India. Here, an entire village is waving. Women are very concentrated and work in the shadow under the houses in serene atmosphere. Majuli is the cradle of a religious tradition unique in the world. Satras are Hindus' monasteries and venerate the god Vishnu. The island has 22 monasteries where almost 200 monks are living. In some temples, masks and statues are made and used for theatrical performances. Arunachal Pradesh, like the Nagaland and the other small states of this part of India, is a unique province due to its geographical point in the foothill of the Himalayas, its large ethnic wealth, and its exceptional diversity of landscapes. Those landscapes are not yet endangered by the galloping modernism of the subcontinent and mass tourism. But for how long?
Asi bota gamu godag so